And we're live. Hey everyone, it's Blaine here, and we're going to do a flight from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. It's a short little flight. I think it's just under an hour, so it should be a good little hop. We're in X-Plane 11, and we are in Los Angeles. So let's get started here. I am flying on the Zibo mod. It's a mod that was developed from the default 737-800, and it's fantastic. It's a lot better than the default 737 because what what Flight Sim does is they develop a plane, they put it in their game, and then they don't really do anything else to it. So it rarely gets updates that make it better. Whereas the Zibo mod is updated like all the time. So with that, we're going to start our checklist. If you're happening to watch, do shoot me a message in the Twitch chat so that I can say hi. But let's get started. So we're going to jump into the aircraft. So we are in cold and dark right now, and we're going to start this up. So we're going to go to the overhead panel, and we're going to get ourselves some power. So battery on, standby power is already on. Emergency exit lights to armed, strobe light to steady. I'm going to go up top here and align the IRS, and then tell us the time thing here. And then we have to go to the Zibo tablet, hit ground services and connect the GPU, which it's good. Back to the overhead panel and turn on ground power, because if we don't do that, we're going to get a really audible alarm rather quickly that's going to yell at us and say you're running on battery power. Not a good thing. All right. So with that, let's get going. So Zibo, in the tablet you just saw where I said connect GPU, there is a full checklist from start to finish. I'm not going to use it today, but it is really good to go through if you want to know exactly what to do. And he's always adding to that and always making it better. So if you basically follow that, you should be all good. Additionally, if you're interested in flying on the 737-800 with Zibo, I have a playlist which basically covers all of what you need to do in that actual for that actual aircraft. It's from how to download it, how to install it, how to configure it, how to fly with it. Basically everything from start to finish. So we're going to continue here now. So first thing we're going to do is set the mood, as my buddy Nick would call it, which is basically just turning on some lighting in the aircraft. And you may see some, like the screen flicker in terms of color here and there. That's because I'm using Active Sky FX, which is a weather engine, and it's set to real-time mode, so it updates, I think, every 5 minutes. So because of that, you may see like a flicker every once in a while, but that's totally normal. Okay, we have all of our lighting set, so now we got to do some work in the FMC. So the IRS is now going to align, and it did. Good. I have mine set to align every for I think it's 1 minute. You can set it to real time, fast, or I think medium. Real time is like 7 or 8 minutes, and then obviously it goes down from there. I don't necessarily want to sit here for 7 minutes and wait for the thing to align, so I have it set to fast, which is I think 1 minute. So. Okay, we are in Los Angeles at Los Angeles International. And that is good. Gate's not really important here. And we are going to take off on runway. What did SimBrief say to me? 25 right is what we're going to do. Okay, so. And then destination is Las Vegas. So that's KLAS. And our flight number is 175 because that's my call sign. Okay, now to performance. Let me see here. What was the fuel? Okay, so I'm going to do my fuel calculation here. So 13,480. So just give me a second here while I do this. Minus 1,000. And I do a really basic fuel calculation. You can do, there is my airlift group that I fly with all the time. They have performance stuff that they do where they do like the real calculations and that. I just kind of do an easier one, but it's still pretty good here. So divide by 2, 6.2. So engine 1 is going to be 6270. Engine 2, or center, I guess, if you, not engine, sorry, fuel tank, is going to be 1,000, and then the other one is going to be 6240. Okay, let me check SimBrief for what our payload is going to be. SimBrief, by the way, is a free website. It's exactly as it sounds. It's simbrief.com. You make a free account, and then what it does is it allows you to do flight planning, and it's really good because it does a lot of calculations for you. You just basically select the route, and then you just put it in. Payload is 37.7, so we're almost at full today. Okay, so let's go ahead and enter our balance. Okay, oops, sorry, fuel tank 1 is 6270. Second one is 1,000, and then the third one is 6240. I added a couple extra pounds to this one because we're going to do an APU burn before we switch over to start the engine, so I just want to have a little bit extra in the tank there. And apply, and of course it always turns off the power to it, so we go connect GPU, back over to the overhead panel, and then turn everything back on. Silly, silly, silly. So, okay, we got power, or not power, we got fuel to the aircraft now, so we can go back to our performance. Cost index. I use a document that gives me the cost indexes for different ones, but if you do true performance calculations, this will change. But I'm going to go with the standard that WestJet kind of uses, which is around 25. Reserves are going to be 1. Zero fuel weight is supposed to be 129.0, and according to SimBrief, it is. Good. Cruising at 31,000 feet. What is our cruise wind? 270 at 102. From the east. No, from the west. Okay, so that's good. I think that means we're going to have a really good tailwind. 102 knots. I haven't seen that in a long time. 102 knots is crazy. Okay, let's see here. So 270 at 102. The ISO deviation is +6. And we're going to hit execute. And one limit, the outside temperature. Last time I checked it was 20. But we'll go and double check that. And it's still 20. Okay. We're going to go to takeoff now. Flaps are going to be 5. Our trim is going to be 4.81. Which means we really don't have to move it that much because it's there. And then our V speeds. Okay, write these down. So 147. Okay. So now we're going to go to our route, and I believe it gave us, was Orca 3, Maizen, Capex 6. Oh, I've done this route so many times. This is going to be an easy flight. Orca 3, the Maizen transition, and then route, activate, execute. Departure, we go to arrival, Capex 6, Maizen, and it said runway 01 right. Skiba transition. Alt constraint. It always gives us that alt constraint. So now I'm basically going to go to the routing and just make sure that it works. So, Kegs, Coop, Orca. So Docker vector, Clipper kegs, Coop Orca, top of climb, Navy, Maizen, Clar, and then that should be fine. Yeah, I'm going to have to fix that because Skiber as a waypoint comes before Prino. Skiber's like here, and Prino's way the heck over here. So that's going to have to change. But that's an easy thing to fix. So how you can, once you've put your waypoints in, how you can check to make sure that's good is if you go to the EFIS panel right here, and you switch it to plan, and then I always make it so that I can see the FMC and this setting here. I'll move it to 10 so that's a little more out, and then you basically hit step right here on the bottom of the FMC, and then it'll fly. It'll go through the plan waypoint by waypoint, so you can make sure that they all match, because sometimes what will happen is you'll have a waypoint where it'll be here, and it'll be going along, everything will be good, and then it'll go like way over here, or it'll go back when you're supposed to be going one direction. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm going to hit step. Maizen, Clar. Yeah, so see how it's going. The KPIC 6 arrival, what it does when you're coming from Los Angeles is if you follow this kind of imaginary line, you basically go up like this, and then you're parallel to the runway, and then you turn at Prino if you're doing the extended ILS to land. But because we're going to go to Skiber, we're going to cut all of that out. So how we essentially do that is we go to our FMC here, and we look for Skiber, which is right here. So we're going to click Skiber, and then we're going to go back to other Skiber, and then we're going to hit execute. And as you can see now, we have that line connecting us pretty easy there. And then we'll just go along, and that's easy. Yeah. Now I'm trying to remember, it's been a while since I've flown this one specifically with regards to the vector. I'm pretty sure we just do a reciprocal heading from the runway. So if it was 251, I always have to write these down because I can never remember the things. So let me just see here. So 251. Okay, so 251 71. Okay, so 251 minus 90 means we're going to vector to 161, and then another 90 means we're going to vector to 71. So yeah, that's going to be correct. Okay, so our routing is good. So from here, we're going to go ahead and set up the EFIS panel. So we're going to put this back to map. And then we're going to configure the MCP. So I'm going to put the auto brakes to RTO. We're going to configure the speed ref now. And our first V speed was 135. And then set. And then it was 137. Okay. Configured. I should look up 251. Okay, 251 is the course heading. 251. And I'm going to configure the heading initially because 161, and then our speed was that 147. It was that last one. There we go. Okay. Flight directors on. Auto throttle on. Configure for the weather. We're going to set this to 5 initially. And now we're going to do a test for TCAS to make sure it's working. So I fly offline most of the time, just because I have a kind of a weird schedule. I can't always stream. So when you're flying offline, whether you have TCAS on or not, it doesn't matter. When you're flying online, you absolutely have to have it, because what will happen is this number right here, this one that says 2000, air traffic control will give you what's known as a squawk code, and that's basically a code that your airplane system basically broadcasts that can be picked up by air traffic control, and they know where you are and what your altitude is and where you're going and stuff like that. Because I'm flying offline, I'm just going to set it to whatever I want. I'm still going to turn it on because it's a good practice to have it on, but I'm just going to do a test anyway. And we're going to just do a quick test.
Adjust vertical speed. Adjust. Climb.
And you can
climb
see on the nav display right here,
climb, crossing, climb. Climb,
it's
crossing,
showing
climb,
that there's traffic
climb,
and stuff like that.
climb,
And that's basically
clear
letting us
of
know
conflict,
that, you know, that's what it would
descend,
look like if there was traffic.
descend,
When you
crossing,
fly online,
descend,
you'll have this
descend,
go off
crossing,
sometimes, and
descend,
it's normal in a
descend,
very busy
descend
airspace to
now,
have minor
descend,
conflicts.
descend now.
TCAS is
Increase
interesting
climb,
because it's
increase
a whole
climb,
system devised
increase
to
descent,
not cause mid-air
increase
collisions. So
descent,
it's
maintain
absolutely
vertical
fantastic
speed,
that we have it. We need
maintain,
it.
maintain vertical speed, crossing, maintain, monitor vertical speed, TCAS test, pass.
Okay, TCAS has passed. So let's, now we're going to do the other side of that one. We're going to do the ground proximity one, which is right here.
Glide slow. Pull up.
This one's a bit
Wind
longer,
shear.
but
Wind
also
shear.
really important.
Wind shear. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up. Obstacle. Obstacle. Pull up. Airspeed low.
Now I can't remember if I have to hit it again fast, or do I have to hold it longer? I'll try holding it longer and see what that does.
Glide slow.
Or is that the same
Pull
one?
up. Wind shear. Wind shear. Wind shear. In up. Sink rate. Sink rate. Terrain. Terrain. Pull up.
This might be the same one.
Don't sink. Don't sink. Too low. Terrain. Too low. Gear. Too low. Flaps.
Nope, this is the other
Too
half
low.
of it.
Terrain. Glide slow. Bank angle. Bank angle. Approaching minimum.
Bank angle, yeah.
2,500. 1,000.
Jet airliners are not meant to do barrel
500.
rolls.
400.
However, that would be
300.
pretty badass.
200.
Just see a 737
100.
going.
50. 40. 30. 20. 10.
I always think about the
Wind shear.
proximity
Wind shear.
system going off in the
Wind
movie
shear.
Sully. If you haven't seen that movie,
Too low. Terrain.
it's about
Terrain ahead.
U.S. Air Flight
Terrain
1549. It
ahead.
was the one that landed
Terrain
in the
ahead.
that had a forced water
Pull
landing in
up.
the Hudson River in New York City,
Obstacle.
and they're
Obstacle.
approaching a bridge, and it's
Obstacle
like
ahead.
obstacle,
Pull up.
obstacle. That's a pretty crappy obstacle to have to deal with. So, okay, so the systems have said that we are good for those, so we can kind of continue here. We're pretty much done, I think, with the EFIS panel. I just have to check the chart now for the Orca 2 departure, so I'm going to flip over to Navigraph and do that. I need to find out what the top altitude is. Okay, so Clipper is below, at or below 10,000, and Kegs is between 13 and 9. So let's just see here. I'll read the actual thing. 25 right departure. Climb heading 251 to 640. Then climb direct to Docker at or below 3,000. Then on heading 236 is assigned by ATC. Expect left turn to cross Clipper at or above 10,000. And I think the last time I did this, it was, we were told, was left turn, join the departure, direct to Clipper. So, because Docker is 3,000, I'm going to do that. What does it say? Yeah, I'm going to set it to 3, and then we'll It won't take us long. It won't take us long to hit that, so we'll just we'll make our turn once we do that. So that's 3,000 there, and then we also want to set our altimeter, which the last time I checked was 2977. I'll double check that, and it still is. It's 2997. Okay. Or no, sorry, it was 2977. Okay. Okay, so that's set down there. I'll set the radio while I'm at it. This is, the radio is, oop, didn't mean to zoom in there. The radio is the altitude to which it basically broadcasts your minimum. So when you heard the thing on the ground proximity test there, I think you heard it, I'm sorry, but what'll happen is when we finally get to our destination, it'll say approaching minimums. This radio at 200 here, this is the thing that will basically that will make us do that. It will tell us that by the 200. So that's pretty good now. I think we are pretty good here to like go, I guess, just with obviously having to push back. So I will start the APU just so we can at least have that on. Turn a bunch of other things on too. So yaw dampers on, window heat on. It's warm out, so we didn't need it right away. Hydraulics on. We're going to set our altitude, which was 31,000. Very, 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 very important that you set your altitude if you're flying a jet, because you're going to go, into like 31,000 or greater feet, because otherwise what happens is the cabin altitude pressurization alarm will go off, and that's a pain to fix. I mean, it can be fixed, but it's a pain. And if you have the setting in X-Plane to activate hypoxia, your screen will slowly fade to black and you have to restart your flight. So, landing altitude at Las Vegas is 2100. And how you find your landing altitude is if you go to your FMC, and in your legs page here, if you scroll to the very end where it shows the runway, it says runway 01, it's 2230. So I thought it was 21, it's actually 2200, so I'll set that. But that's basically the altitude of the field, and that's what you would set. So I'll go go up here and change that. 2200. Okay, we're going to go ahead and start the APU, so we're going to fire the first fuel pump, and then turn the APU on. 1000, 1000, 1000. And it started. We have to wait for it to like cool down a bit in the EGT gauge right here. Otherwise, it's not good for the aircraft. That just takes a sec as well. While I'm waiting, I'll turn trim air on. When this is done, I will basically plan the push, and then we'll go pretty quickly from here. With your power and setup and stuff like that, how it essentially goes is it goes ground power to APU, which is the auxiliary power unit, to your engines. And then the same thing's reversed when you land. It's engines to APU to ground power. Engines and APU are dependent on the fuel you have on the aircraft, and the ground power is a box that sits outside, so you can run whatever you want all day long off of that thing. So the APU right here, as you can see, this little gauge right here, has kind of set at 4, so that's fine. So we're going to turn APU power on, and then we're going to turn the APU bleed on. So that's good. And with that, we will plan the push. So let me get my map up here. So I believe we're at Charlie 6. So we're going to taxi Charlie Foxtrot. Okay. So I will call the push. This is Better Pushback. It's what I use, and it's a fantastic add-on, and it's free.
Ground to cockpit, plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Okay, other than that, I think we're okay. Flaps I will set to 5. I'll turn TCAS to, not TA, there we go, squawking. And then I'll just take a quick peek here. Is everything else good? Turn this to, I always like to have this one set more. Turn the weather on. This is all set fine. How far is Clipper from our initial one? Oh, it's at or above 10,000 at or above. Oh, okay. Docker is 2 nautical miles at or below 3,000. So what I'm going to do then from here is I'm going to go 3. We're gonna hit Docker immediately, and then I'll go to 10,000. So okay. So I'm going to go ahead and call the tug.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
Okay, good. And hopefully the winds in Las Vegas are good. I don't think I've landed on the ones for quite a while, but I mean that could change. I usually end up landing on 2.6. Okay, so the tug's here, so we'll turn on our anti-collision light and our other light. Close the door here. What else do we got here?
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed, ready to connect.
Okay, everything looks good up here. I'm gonna wait for it to basically say to me like ready to push, and then I'll put the seat belts on, and then we'll get underway here. See if I can show an outside view of that loading the tug in. Loading the tug in with a vehicle right behind us.
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
That's probably the scenery. Oh well. Can't really do anything about it, so. Okay, so the tug is here and it's ready to go. So let's get out of here. So we're going to turn fuel on. And seatbelts on. And we're going to start the engines. So we're going to go to ground and we're going to go to 1. And we're watching for the engine N2 value here to get to 25. It'll steady out at 25, and then we'll do the cutoffs to the engine. Okay. Cutoff 1. And then we're basically waiting for ground 1 to kick off, and then we'll hit ground 2 and we'll be good. It's the gate pulling away. Alright, let's get engine 2 going. Same thing as before. And, oh, I'm an idiot. I should have pushed already. So we will release the parking brake. I should have pushed my...
Starting pushback.
My bad. pushing back. Love this airport, and I love the graphics and stuff, but like it's so brutal on my computer because I bought the like high quality one from the store. I have to look. I think they have like a medium resolution one because it's so much structures and stuff that it's pretty pretty big. So, okay, we are pushing back. Engines have started, so we're going to turn the APU off. We're going to wait for the APU bleed to get down, and then we're going to turn the packs on. We can turn the probe heat on now. So we're waiting for the exhaust temperature gauge to hit 0, and then we'll be good. Charlie 6, so taxi via Charlie Foxtrot.
Operation complete. Set parking brake. Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
I have a lot of my functions attached to a programmable keyboard, so because of that, I hit stuff. That's why maybe you don't see me actually hit the parking brake and stuff like that. Come on, APU, got somewhere to be. There we go. Alright, APU bleed turned off, packs turned auto, isolation valve done. Disconnect because we're good. And engines to continuous. Our lights are good. We'll turn on taxi once the tug gets out of the way. And then we're good.
Tow is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal will be on the left. We'll see you next time. Have a safe flight.
Hand signal on the left. And it's getting out of here, and we can get out of here. All right. Taxi lights on, runway turn off, lights on. Double check of this. Everything looks good. We have no errors or warning lights, so I think we are good. We're going to turn our TCAS to taxi only, and I think we're good to go. All right, parking brake, give us some power, and let's get out of here. Rush hour in Los Angeles. Okay. And we are, yeah, Charlie's right in front of us, so this is easy. Take the turn a little slow onto the taxiway, and then when I get on there, we'll kick up some speed. Oh, really? I have a plane coming at me. Is he stopped, or what is he doing? This is that part of the scenery. Oh, he's coming at me. Oh, no. Oh, no. He's coming at me. Well, ordinarily, this would not be a good thing, but it's just scenery, so we'll pretend like it didn't happen. Nobody from the FAA needs to know about that. Okay, we're going to taxi to Foxtrot. I usually have like other aircraft and stuff turned off just because of that. Thankfully, we didn't have to go like all the way to the other the other side. There are times when like you have to cross the entire airfield. It's just like it's a lot of taxiing. Okay, we have a Boeing 747 up there. What is he doing? Okay, I'm Not sure where he's going. I think I'm just going to hold. I know that we just had like one. We couldn't really avoid that, but I'm just going to hold short for a second and see where he's going. So he's crossing the runway. And I just want to see where he turns off. Trying to make this realistic, folks. Okay, let's see here. Not that it matters, I guess. Are you turning or are you going straight? Turning. Alright. And we have a FedEx guy as well. It's kind of interesting because the cargo ramp's on the other side of the airfield, so I just want a taxi. And he's turning. Alright, let's go. I'll get on to Bravo here just to make it. If that happens again, then at least we're out of the way. Alright, let's go. I'm happy to get out of Los Angeles so I can get some more frame rates back. Alright. Okay, so this is, what does that say? At Juliet. Where the heck is Juliet? That's kind of weird. Approaching Charlie 1. Foxtrot. No, okay, we're in the right spot. Alright, let's turn, and then we're ready to go. Okay, a couple of things real quick. TCAS on, lights on, other lights off, VNAV and LNAV active, start the clock, and let's get out of here. Okay, so parking brake, flight path vector, powering up, and I'm going to put the soundtrack on, and toga. Airspeed's alive.
V1, rotate.
Rotate.
Positive rate.
Gear up. Hello.
400.
Checked.
$1,000.
Flaps. And auto brakes. And gear to off. cross Docker and then we'll make our turn. Okay.
1,000 to go.
Yeah, it's 1,000 to go. Okay, and we're gonna go to 10,000. And we're gonna go heading select, Command A. Okay, and our fuel cutoff, that's our center engine there. So as we approach 161, I'll continue the vector to 71. Through the clouds, through the clouds. Very cloudy. Okay, and I will continue to 71. Okay, I'm going to switch to the SID chart now. Orca 3, RNAV departure. Cross Clipper, above 10. Kegs between 13 and 19. So we'll just go 19 then. Take a look on the outside there. Gorgeous. Nice. Can't see the airfield now, but I usually do. I usually do this. I'll go like this and look back and go. See you next time, Los Angeles. The airfield's probably just off of our 10 o'clock. Nice. Beauty. Okay, let's take a look here. Coming up on 10,000 kegs. Okay, we're gonna go direct kegs, and we're gonna turn on not on intercept heading. Okay, all right, I can fix that. Heading select. Kegs is 9, and we need to be above 13 and below. Above 13. Okay, we're 8 nautical. We should be able to make that, but just for fun, I will increase the vertical speed so that we're climbing a little bit more. Okay, now if I do this, I'm gonna hit Cooper. I'm gonna hit Coop directly, it should be at least. And then we can go direct Coop. So, direct Coop, VNav LNav. And that'll take us direct to Coop. Coop, we needed to be above 15, which we're doing, so we're good. We're above 10,000 now, so I'll turn the lights off. I will put this to, I'll kill the soundtrack. Soundtrack's nice, but... Okay. Okay, I'll switch this to 40 so we can see what's going on there. Take a look on the outside now. Nice. Leaving Los Angeles. Calling the FAA now? Oh, come on, man. If you're referring to that that other plane, he was in my way. Okay, we are approaching 15. We need to be above, which is fine. Okay, Coop, and then direct Orca. Top altitude is 23, so we passed kegs already, so I will just go to 23 then. And we are doing a decent climb, making really good time. That's good. All right. Let me check our fuels. How are we doing for our fuel? 217. Right on. Didn't even have to put the crossfeed on. That's good. It's always funny when the weather just resets. Go to the nice, oh, sorry, standard altitude. There we go. Otherwise, we'd all, you know, die of hypoxia. I meant to do this one. There we go. Now we're good. Here's your nice window one, looking over the engine. God, this aircraft is so fantastic. If you do flight sim and you don't have Zibo, go get Zibo. Well, maybe after the stream, but get Zibo. It's fantastic. Love this aircraft. It just runs so smooth, and all of the stuff works, and it's just fantastic. It's great. How are we doing for our altitude? 20. Coming up to top of climb, so we're doing good. Everything looks good. And that's kind of the thing, like, once you get to cruise, you don't do anything then. you just talk to air traffic control like once every little bit, and you just wait for a descent clearance, so there's not a lot that you actually do. This is kind of why I like shorter flights more than longer flights, because with a shorter flight, you're basically
1,000 to go.
Truncating. Oop, 1,000 to go. Okay, we're gonna go to 290. Or no, we're close enough that we can just do straight to cruise. I don't know what I was saying there. Oh, yeah. So with a shorter flight, you do everything, but it's much more truncated. Whereas if you do a longer flight, then you get up to cruise and you don't do anything for most of it. It's long-haul flights they're interesting to do every once in a while, but they're really boring. So it's good to do short flights. I think this one was, what did SimBrief say? It said it was 47 minutes, so that's a good flight to do. While I'm at it, I guess I'll pull up the weather for Las Vegas. 19 degrees, 2979. Oh, really close to what we had there. Right on. And Navigraph, our SID, shows all the way to Maizen. Okay, cool. Excellent, so we are just climbing, and we are good. So we have, let me take a look here to see how long until we have to, I guess I can't do that until we hit top of climb. I was going to say I'll see how long we have to hit top of descent and that, but... .57 is our wind speed, which is not too bad. It said 102, which is like insanely fast. insanely fast for wind speed. Did all of our weather just disappear? It looks that way. What does active sky say? Yeah, I guess so. We are leaving clouds into clear skies. Look at that. I've never had like the crazy weather where it's just been like the plane's like, so that's pretty good. I did have to do a crosswind landing the other day. It was like a 30-knot lateral crosswind, and it was challenging. I got down. I'll just leave it at that. Like if your drink was on your table, it probably went when I hit the ground. So. So top of descent is less than 40, which is good. It's actually good. I mean, we have, with the KPIX6 arrival, you have to cross the Meisen transition at 24,000 exactly. So to fly at 31,000, you have less distance you have to traverse because it's only 31 to 24. I've done routes where I've had to fly from like 35 to 24, which is, you don't get a lot of distance to get from your descent to Meisen, so that's pretty good that it's shorter. I wonder if I can do this. Queue up some music. And then take some screenshots of the aircraft. Okay, so that's okay. I don't know if this will show, I hope not. No, it didn't. Excellent. Still trying to figure out how everything works in Twitch. Okay, so when we get to cruise, I will put on some tunage. And above 30,000, so we want to have our bank angle set to 10. Yeah, we shouldn't be spending a lot of time at top of descent. I'll just put the music on now. Why not? Music is good. This is all, a lot of this music is from, can't remember it, NCS, non-copyright sounds. Okay, so our top of descent is 30 nautical miles. Okay, we're gonna reach top of descent at 23:58 Zulu, and it's currently 23:55. We're gonna hit top of descent in like no time at all. That's funny. Okay, well, fair enough. 3 minutes. I'll take a couple of nice like little shots outside. It's all windy. The camera's shaking back and forth. Inside one. We'll do that for a minute or two. I think it said it was like 20 degrees at 20 degrees Celsius at Las Vegas. I wish it was that here. I live in northern Canada where it's not that right now. The wind is brutal. So, alright. Let's see here. Coming up to top of descent in 19 nautical miles. So we'll configure for top of descent, I guess. I'll go to bring up the star. Oh, we're still on Los Angeles, that's why. Meisen, Clar, and then Skebby. Okay. Easy. 14 14. I might as well configure for top of descent now. So how we configure for top of descent is we load in our altitude that we have to go to. So in this case, it's 24,000. We go to the FMC and we set our approach parameters. So we go to init ref. We're landing on runway 01 right. I'm going to check that super quick just to make sure that it's still the same one. See if they change runway configurations on me. Nope, still 01 right, so we're good. .2979 is the observed one. Okay. Alright, so we basically select this as our flap speed there. We set our course to 13. Our nav approach doesn't have... I'm going to have to manually descend. Alright, so we set our course to 13. I guess I could have gone the other way. There we go. Okay, so we have, and it was 139 was our final one. Okay, so we have our altitude set. We have our we're beginning our descent now. Turn the speed brakes on. Okay, so our approach is set, our altitude is set, speed brakes are ready to go. Okay. And now we just kind of watch to get there. I know this approach pretty well because I've done it a fair amount of times. So at Maizen we cross Maizen at 240, then we cross Clar at 13, so that's good. I'm going to set the altitude or the altimeter just so that it's set. And then yeah, we're just descending, we're just watching our speed, and other than that we should be pretty good. It's playing that other song again. That's funny. It's my takeoff song. I guess our wind speed wasn't as what we thought it was going to be, which is not a bad thing. What's our fuel looking like? 4950, 4940. Right on. So now as we're in the descent phase, what we're basically doing here is we're just going to monitor our speed and monitor our where we're going, and we're good. We're now below 30,000 again, obviously, so I'll change the bank angle back to 30. And then I'm going to set, how far are we from Maizen? 2.7, okay. When we get to, like, 2 nautical miles or so, or is it going to get us there beforehand? I might as well just set it now. Where are we at now? 25. Okay, it's slowing down. Cross Clar at 13,000. So let's change that there. Speed, and we're going to reduce this because we don't need to be going barreling that way. And Clar. Okay, so VNav back on. I guess I should change this so we can see our waypoints. Is it going to descend or is it going to give me attitude? Thinking about it. VNav. cycle VNAV, see if that does it. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. And then we gotta land a manual or fly manual. No, we're good. We're doing good. Clar's a long ways away, so it's good. Or is it? Why is it firing retard? There we go. Clar's, like I said, it's, what was it, 42 miles away, so 42 nautical miles away, so we're good. Zibo. I should actually take a look at the approach chart because I haven't landed on the ones in such a long time. RNAV approach. At least, well, it does give you a step down. Oh, the decision height's actually different. I will change that then. Radio should be 298. Come on. There we go. Okay. So we are how far from Clar? 34. We're doing good. Okay, cool. Okay, so the initial approach fix is CAT-NU, and then it gives us a step down altitude for each of those. So 69 to 63, and then to 51. Okay. Okay, so I need to, I'm just going to use the MCP for part of that, because otherwise, fly the whole thing manually, I'm not that good. Doing good. Clar is 28, and we're now coming up to standard altitude where we're going to switch back to the altimeter. I'll check that one more time. Let's see here. 2981. Good. One of the best things about this aircraft mod, Zibo, is that the creator, Zibo, is just constantly upgrading it and updating it and correcting bugs and following you know, actual systems in that. So it's such a dynamic aircraft. It's really fantastic. Okay, so we're at standard altitude, so we're going to switch the altimeter to 2981. Okay, Clar is 20. Nautical. We're doing good. Clar was at 250. Why is our speed dramatically increasing? Slowing down. The decel is on the side of Skiber, so I may have to manually slow the aircraft down. We'll have to see. Uh, 16, and we're at 16 points. No, we're gonna be fine. We're gonna make that altitude restriction. At or above. Okay. RNAV approach. Let's do this. Clar is at 12. Keeps moving up. I think I'm gonna check the speed here. And we're gonna slow down because it's not gonna slow it down for us. Even with the speed brake arm, normally the speed brake does most of the work, but you know. Let's see here how we doing. Okay, so from Clar, it's 7.1 to Skiber. And then, so Skiber we're at 13,000, and then we have to descend to... Skiber does not have an altitude restriction, so that's okay. So once we cross Clar, we can begin our descent to Katnu, or Kaknu, I guess that is, because it's a difference of 19 nautical miles. So yeah, we're going to want to have that slowed down.
1,000 to go.
Pretty good. Okay. Nice, we're ahead of the actual waypoint, that's good. Because we have to cross Clar at 13,000, so... Speed's on point as well, that's good. So 69 at or above. Okay, Skiber. Let's descend now, vertical speed. And we're going to do 1,500 feet a minute. Set that to 245. Okay. So from Skiber, I'm going to switch to the approach chart now. 01 right. And it doesn't give us... it doesn't give us a speed restriction, so I'll just kind of go 20 to 10 and so forth. Okay, so we are going... Cactus 14, we're going to go a little faster. We're going to slow down to 210. Final approach course is 14. Okay, switch this so we can see that. Good. So we got 12. Set that to 2,500. I just don't want to miss that because it's an approach one. But I think we're doing okay. Looks good. We got the glare from the sun behind us. We should be good now. We're at below 10,000, so we're going to put our landing lights on, set our engines to continuous. I think I forgot to turn the seatbelt sign off, so we'll just pretend that I turned it off. So is that 8.2? Yeah, okay, we're doing okay. And then basically what I'll do is, oh, there's an ATIS arrival? Really? Does that work, I wonder? I don't know if this is going to work, but that'd be funny if it did.
1,000 to go.
McCarran International Information Uniform.
That's cool.
0 Zulu weather.
I didn't think that would work.
Wind calm. Visibility more than 10. Sky clear. Temperature 10, dew point -14.
Cool. Okay, we are coming up to, we are 3 nautical, we are holding, and our altitude is going. Okay, so we are going to go 190, we're making our turn, we're 11 nautical from the airport. And we are turning, so that is good. So I'm going to go and configure for landing. So we're going to go auto brakes 2. APU will start in a minute. Once we make our turn, I'm going to actually increase our descent rate. So feebit is supposed to be 6,300, so 63, vertical speed.
1,000 to go.
500. I want to get to 190 so I can do flaps. Things are looking good though. It's a good flight. Let's take what the approach looks like here. Coming into Los Angeles. Las Vegas. Over the desert. Never actually been to Las Vegas in my real life. I've been near it. I've driven past. There's in Utah when you leave like Salt Lake City, you either go left and that takes you to Arizona, or you go right and that takes you to Las Vegas. Okay, how we doing here? Feebit. Okay, so we're gonna go flaps 1. We're gonna descend to 5,100. 51. 180. Vertical speed. We'll do 500. Airfield is are we in sight? There we go. Airfield. Okay, 01 right, really quickly, is that one. Okay. 194. Okay. Just in case something happens. 194.
1,000 to go.
Flaps.
2,500.
2,500. Okay. We're gonna go speed brake armed, overhead panel. Our lights are configured, all of that is good. We're gonna turn the APU on. 1,000, 2,1,000, 3,1,000, release. Okay, how we doing here? Okay, we're coming up, doing real good. We're gonna slow down a little more. Do 160. Kibsey is 2 nautical miles, and then Galm is 3,900, so we will go to 3,900. Do another set of flaps. I'll take over a little closer. Wind is a little bit of a cross from the front. That's okay though. We're going to do our gear. We're going to go flaps down again. We'll go slower down now. We're at 49. Let's descend a little more maybe. Flaps again.
1,000 to go.
Okay. That's okay. It was 139, but that would be, we'd do a different calculation for that. That's okay. Normally on an ILS approach, I'll let the ILS kind of take me in, but it's not an ILS, it's an RNAV, so I got to do more of it manually. 39. Okay, flaps 25. We're looking good. Gear is down, unlocked. Auto brakes are set. Flaps down again. 145 and we'll call it a day right there. And we're gonna go to
1,000.
3,000 vertical speed to, I'll just go 500 and then we'll let the rest of us, we'll do the rest of it. Okay, so our altitude, our speed is doing good. We have a headwind now, which is good. We're just gonna let it come in at 3.7. It's coming in real good. Easy. Okay, so I think we're good. So we're gonna do final flaps. Turn autopilot off. Gonna turn auto throttle off, and take over the aircraft. It says we are too low. Well then, fine. I always feel like I do my flaps way too early, and I sometimes think I do. Coming in at a crawl here. Make our speed sure it's not, you know, gonna get in too low speed. That's our course heading. Okay, turn here. Yeah, all in all, a good flight. We'll see, make sure I don't biff the landing, and then we'll see what happens. Alright, let's descend now. Happy lights are all white, meaning that I'm too high, but that's okay. I can lose some altitude because I got space. I'm just so happy it's a headwind instead of a tailwind, or instead of a crosswind.
$500. 400. Approaching minimums. 300. Minimums.
And we're doing good.
200. 100. 50. 40, 30, 20, 10.
Don't float. There we go. And nose down. And reversers. Speed brake out. And we're down. Arrived safely in Las Vegas. Reversers not activate? I guess it looks like they didn't activate, damn it.
80 knots.
Sometimes that happens if you don't hit it just right. But that's okay, we caught it, so let's just see here. Take a stop here. Okay, we are... where are we? November at Delta. Okay, let's take a look here. Okay, turning off November. Okay, so we'll take... Let's write this down. We will take Delta. Delta to Whiskey. Delta to Whiskey to Golf. Okay. Alright, let's see here. Okay, overhead, we'll just do this. We'll turn our lights off real quick. And turn our taxi lights on. Okay, parking brake release. Let's start moving again. Can turn auto brakes to off. Flaps can come up. Speed brake can go away. to do this. There we go. Let's see here. That's where we want to go. Is this big turn here? All right. Yeah, I just every once in a while I don't hit my throttle quadrant like enough to activate reversers. It detects that the reversers have been activated, but it doesn't actually activate them. So that's why it took us a little longer to slow down there. Normally that's like a lot easier. So and now we just taxi to the gate. So that was our flight from Los Angeles to Las Vegas. A pretty short little flight, but one of my favorites. It's a good one to do, and the beautiful sunset here in Las Vegas. Let's come again. Okay, so we are coming up to what now? Sierra. Okay. And then I'm pretty sure, so we're crossing Sierra, pretty sure that one there takes us to Golf. Yeah, it does. I'll just take Golf. Where's this one Golf? This one's Golf. That would have been Zulu. Golf is where we want to end up, so go ahead and take that. Taxiing to the other end of the airfield. Put on a little taxi music. There we go. Okay, Golf passing Alpha Gates. Right on. Excellent. Coming up to here, Golf 1. Okay. Next one will be Whiskey, and we're going to turn off at Charlie because we want to go to Charlie Gates. If you're doing Flight Sim and you're looking for maps and stuff, you can get a lot of them off skyvector.com, but I would really encourage you to get a subscription to Navigraph because they have a chart application you can download, which you can just flip through ones back and forth, and it's great. So I would recommend you get that. It's like, I think, $12 or $13 a month, which is a meal at McDonald's. So I'd get that if I was you. Let's see here, how we doing? Okay, so we just crossed Whiskey. Turn here, I think, yeah. I always confuse it because those darn hold pads. We can turn off our runway lights now. Just keep our taxi one on. Coming up to Charlie Gates. I'll just go here. This one's fine. Turn off our taxi lights. Let's see how we're doing here. Good. I don't have marshallers, so I'm going to pretend that I can see outside the aircraft. Alright, let's see here. Slow her down. more, a little more. Come on now, come on now. And there we go. Beautiful. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is, because we're going to power down the aircraft, is we are going to turn on the APU. Sorry, I forgot I have to turn the APU bleed on as well. We're going to turn the engines off. I wonder if the tablet has like a gate thing. Air stairs extend. Does that do anything? No. Oh well. Okay, engines are coming down. I think we're good now. Okay, we can turn the probe heat off. We can tell people they can take their seatbelts off now. We will go to the tablet, turn on the GPU, and go back and then turn the APU off. So that's on now. Confirm that's off. Good. And then APU bleed off. We gotta wait for the exhaust temperature gauge to go down again, but that won't take that long. While we're doing that, we can do some other stuff now. Yaw damper is off. I'm imagining that everyone's ready to get off this aircraft, so we'll just turn the cable stuff off there. Turn the anti-collision light off now. Turn the music off. And then, let's see here, I'm just waiting for the APU to turn off, and then I can kind of quickly do... There's also a checklist in the tablet as well. If you go to, where is it here, checklists and stuff, and there's one for like shutdown and stuff like that. I'm just doing a portion of that, but just quicker because I want to. So, how's our APU? Oh, I forgot I have to turn the thing off. Duh. There we go. It helps if you turn the APU off, actually. Everybody's leaving to get off, see? Get off the plane, everybody. Get off. Get off. You got somewhere else to be. Alright, let's see here. So I can turn those off because the engine's off. APU is just about to turn off. So while that's doing this, we'll configure here, so we'll turn that off. Auto throttle is off. We will turn the flight directors off. That's set, flaps are down, gears down, that's good. We will turn the weather, well, I guess it's off now. We will turn our TCAS, our squawk to on. Radio, we don't need to change anything. Altimeter's fine. APU, we will go ahead and turn the APU bleed off. Turn the packs off. Isolation valve on. Turn our light to steady. We can turn our fuel pumps off. We can turn the window heat off. I think that's good. So we're pretty much, I think we're pretty much done here. So we'll go ahead and turn the emergency lights to armed, standby power to off, and then turn the battery off. And just like that, we're cold and dark. So we are back to where we started now in Las Vegas, but we're at the end of our journey, and hopefully the people that got off the aircraft are going to have fun in the casinos tonight. And so thank you for watching, and I hope to see you again soon. We'll see you in the air.